Hi everyone, today I'm pleased to present our June 2021 local real estate market update. I'm going to show you how we're not having a repeat of what happened in 2018. Hi everyone, this is Michael Saldana with the Vang team, and I can't wait to show you some great information and analysis on the June 2021 local real estate market for San Jose, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, and Campbell. Like I mentioned in the introduction, we're not seeing a repeat of 2018 quite yet. What we saw back then was a sudden increase in inventory right around this June timeframe. And this year, while we are seeing an increase in inventory, the demand is keeping up. I'll get into some of those details later, but before I wanted to share some success stories that we've had recently. We've had actually 2 buyers in the last month where they were able to win offers. They didn't even have the highest offer price. That was great. We had another buyer where we actually expected a lot of competition on the house. There ended up not being a lot of competition. We put in what we thought was a conservative offer and we were able to win the house to everybody's surprise and joy and happiness, actually. A lot of good value earned there. And we've actually been also helping a lot of our seller clients remodel their homes before they sell them to try and maximize the value, really focusing on high return on investment items. So we're not in a short 14-day or less remodel turnaround time. So if you're interested or you want to make any of those success stories your own, give us a call today. Without further ado, let's get started with the real estate market update. First up, we have San Jose single family homes. Alrighty, so this week, the median list price for single family homes in San Jose was $1.35 million. Inventory is holding steady at pretty low levels at 292. One of the statistics that I wanted to point out was the average days on market and median days on market. So the difference between an average and a median average is like an arithmetic average, and the median is more about commonality. So the median, the 7, represents the most commonly seen number of days on market in terms of the average. And then the average days on market, what happens here is that in San Jose we have a couple listings or a small handful of listings that are maybe 60 to 90 days. And when you do a straight arithmetic average, those can kind of offset the numbers a little bit. Numbers become deceiving when you have a lot of 7 days or less, which is what we're seeing in the market. I think this statistic is actually new on the website. They probably added it because this is what's happening right now. One cool thing to see is also this price increase. So one of the things that we've been watching is that when you see the price increase go up, that's a sign of the market pulling back. A couple weeks ago, or maybe even a month or 2 ago, we saw this kind of peak up a little bit, but you can see that recently it's been at about 6% for San Jose. Let's take a look at the median list price. So since 2018, this would be kind of the last peak of the market. We had a little plateau for a few years and we're actually up. Right now, median list price was about 1.3 million, and back then it was about 1.2 million, 1.35 million. Taking a look at price per square foot, this tells a similar picture. You know, we reached a peak in 2018. There was a little bit of a plateau, a little bit of a pullback, and then now things are looking great. With inventory, this is an important one. I think this is going to be the main indicator that we're going to want to keep an eye out. When the inventory starts getting back up into this range, 400, 600, 800, that's when we're going to start to see the shift of power from the sellers back to the buyers, more of a balanced market. Right now, like I mentioned in the introduction to this video, in 2018, in June, you can see the slope of this line. It is rapidly increasing because a lot of people were coming out of that winter. It was an exceptionally slow winter for whatever reason. And a lot of people came out and relisted their homes in May, June, April timeframe, and caused a lot of inventory to increase, which caused prices to kind of plateau and start to decrease. Let's take a look back at that. Price per square foot. You can see the plateau and slight decrease, and then also median list price, kind of a similar story. Looking at the market quartiles, what we'll see is that in all the quartiles except for luxury, around 2.19 million, they all had positive absorption, which means that more homes were purchased or taken off the market than homes were added onto the market. So looking at the inventory graph, even though it has a positive slope, which means an increasing inventory this week. There are actually more homes taken off the market than were added. The quartiles go as follows. So about a quarter of the markets, their median price was about $995,000. That's going to get you a 3-bedroom and 2-bathroom home. 1.25 million will get you about 1,600 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And then once you step up to about 1.5 million, that's where you can get about a 2,000 square foot home in a 4.3. And all of those we're seeing a days on market of 7 or less, and that's because there's a lot of competition, a lot of movement. If you actually add up these numbers, then the inventory of 292 and 31 plus 38, so that's about 40 plus 40, about 100 and about 150. So 150 were taken off the market, and about 300 exist on the market. So that's a lot of demand. Taking a look at San Jose Condominiums, the median list price is going to be $699,000, so just about $700,000. Price per square foot is $644. Average days on market of 26, median of 7. One thing is that we don't see that price increase here. That's interesting. I think it's because actually the condo market, they saw that pullback a few months ago. Actually, maybe we can, yeah, you can see that it was a little bit higher in April and a little bit higher in February. Let's see, taking a look. Right now, the inventory for San Jose condos is about 190. And that's going to be, this is the inventory graph right now. That's going to be very similar to kind of 2018 levels, but we're not seeing that growth or that slope upwards. Let's take a look at the median list price. So the story for the median list price of condos in San Jose, we're actually right back very close to the levels that we saw at the 2018 peak. So what happened to the condos in San Jose is they kind of went down, they went up a little bit, went down through the pandemic, and now they're starting to kind of come back up with a little bit of strength and competition. Don't let those numbers fool you, because as we look at the market quartiles, we're actually seeing a lot of absorption in all areas. So for the bottom quartile, 18 were taken off the market, 13 were added to the market. So maybe there's a deficit of about 20, 25 that were taken off the market and were not replaced with new homes. And then when we're talking about an inventory of about 190, that's about half, almost half the market is moving. So, you know, don't let this market indicator of 82 deceive you. No, it's still a very strong seller's market. Not quite as strong as single family homes, but it's still moving very, very quickly. Price per square foot, I like this graph because even though, you know, we kind of had a plateau and a peak in 2018, went down a little bit, but now we're showing a lot of strength and it's going up, and that's all supported by the demand, the strong demand in all the market quartiles. Taking a look at specifically the quartiles in San Jose, we're looking at about 500,000 would get you about 860 square feet, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom. This is a condo townhome. 650K will get you about 1,000 square feet at 2.2. Step that up to 800, you're looking at 1,250 square feet, still at 2.2. And then at about $1 million and above, we're looking at 1,600 square feet at 33. Sunnyvale, California, our next local market. Their median list price was $1.958 million, so that's significantly higher than San Jose, but about average for what we see in Sunnyvale. Their inventory has decreased to 33, so they always have a pretty small market. We don't see a lot of price increases, so it's still showing a lot of strength. Strong sellers market, 97 out of 100. And just like the San Jose market, we see this average days on market of 44, which means that there's some lingering listings that are kind of dragging that average down. But when you look at the median, it is a solid 7. That's where, you know, that's the common story of homes right now. They'll be listed on a Wednesday, a Thursday, or a Friday. They'll be on the market for one weekend, and then they'll accept offers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. That's the expectation for a home that's priced right, that'll sell fast, that, you know, will maximize the competition, maximize your value. Taking a look at the median list price. This is single family homes in Sunnyvale. So similar to the San Jose graphs, we had a peak in 2018, kind of went down a little bit, and it's been steadily but surely climbing up since then. Looking at price per square foot, it's a similar story, but a little bit more of a plateau in Sunnyvale. Maybe that's because Home prices are already pretty high in Sunnyvale, so you'll see this plateaus right around $1,100 per square foot. So that's quite a bit. Yeah, Sunnyvale is a highly desirable city. Looking at inventory, similar to the San Jose graph, we're seeing almost a repeat of what happened in 2018 and in previous years. One thing that's interesting is that the slope of this is very similar to the kind of the slope that we would have seen in 2018, as opposed to San Jose, where we didn't see that inventory picking up. This is probably a good thing, to have a little more inventory in Sunnyvale, where the house prices are already really sky high. And you know, as we kind of look at this price per square foot, you know, to really kind of jump past that plateau, you'd really need to increase your price per square foot, get into the 1.2, but we've never barely even broken that line on our 7-day average in the past 2 years. So, but all in all, real estate's going up, things are doing good. A little bit less competition would be nice. Looking at the market quartiles, we have the bottom quartile for single family homes. That's going to be a 1,500 square foot, 3.2. 3 were taken off the market, and 2 were added onto the market. You go to the next quartile up, $1.889 million will get you about a 1,700 square foot home at 3.3. 1 was placed on the market and 5 were taken off the market. So a little bit higher demand on there. You might see a little microcosm of demand if you're trying to buy a house in that range. Actually, I did hear 20 offers in Sunnyvale. Yeah, still competitive. Next quartile up, 2.044 million, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. That's, you know, with low inventory, sometimes the numbers can get a little jumbled up like that, but that'll get you 1,700 square feet. 4 new on the market, 7 absorbed. And then for the top quartile, we've got 2,300 square feet, so a little bit of a jump up there, 2.6 million. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 6 taken off the market, and 3 added to the market. Taking a look at condominiums in Sunnyvale, a slightly different story, but similar to the story we saw in San Jose. There's less demand with condos versus single family homes. However, the demand is still very strong. Don't underplay that by any means. One interesting thing is that the median days on market is showing to be about 14, meaning that on average, condominiums and townhomes in Sunnyvale, they've been leaving them on market for 2 weekends instead of 1 weekend. Interesting that we're seeing 28% price decrease. So that's kind of maybe a sign that prices are a little bit high and they're bringing them down to try and get the interest. What can happen is that if the seller's expectations are a little too high and they want a certain price, they'll put it on the market. The agent will say, let's try it out, but they'll secretly know it needs to be lower. They'll try it out, they'll bring it down, and if the market's pulling back a little bit, which we are seeing a little bit of a pullback with condos as opposed to single family homes, that kind of makes sense. When we look at the median list price over time, it's actually down a little bit since 2018. Looking at price per square foot, it's kind of been actually just about hovering right around this 850 mark. So we've dipped as low as about 800 in October 9th of 2020. And actually we're very recently at our peak at about 860. So it's not bad, at least it's holding its value. And inventory, this is also very interesting because I think we saw a similar effect with the inventory in single family homes where it's actually starting to pick up a little bit in Sunnyvale. They're starting to sustain a little bit of inventory, especially in this condo. So actually with condominiums in Sunnyvale, their inventory, we're seeing a high since 2018. It's only been at this point once and then twice, really. So that's going to be an interesting effect. I wonder if that's going to result in a little bit less competition, which would be nice. I guess that all lines up with the 28% price decrease. There's a little bit less competition for condominiums and townhomes in Sunnyvale. What does that mean? What does that get you? Well, the bottom quartile is 642,000. That'll get you about 756 square feet. That's a 1-1 in Sunnyvale. I saw one of those recently, actually. That's not bad. Very, very, very practical. Another home, 874,000. That would be the second quartile up. That would be the 25 through 50% of the homes. 2 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, 1,100, almost 1,200 square feet. 2 were added to the market. 1 was taken off the market. Next quartile, 1.1 million, 1,300 square feet, a 2-3. That's interesting. Sometimes they'll have 2 owner suites and then another full bathroom for who knows what. That's probably a half bathroom. Top quartile, 1.428 million, 1,500, almost 1,600 square feet. Remember, this is condominiums in Sunnyvale, townhomes. 3, and then 5 taken off the market, and 3 added onto the market. I think I talked about this in one video before. Sometimes people that get priced out of single-family homes will move over into condominiums and townhomes. Especially, I've noticed, especially so in Sunnyvale, where it's situationally located very close to the 101 and all the tech companies. I've definitely noticed that effect a little more, where the highest end condos and townhomes always have a little more demand. Okay, next up we have Santa Clara, the neighboring city to San Jose and Sunnyvale. We have a median list price of 1.499 million and inventory of about 42. Their market action index is 84, so that's lower than some of the other cities for single family homes. Some of the big players, I like this one, 54 days on market, so a couple lingering listings, but then median days on market of 7. So that's a solid single family homes, 1 weekend open houses. That is the majority of what's happening most commonly. 14% price decrease, 7% price increase. That's like actually pretty standard. We're seeing a little, a local maxima of this price decrease. That's interesting. That's a good thing. That's, competition has been a little bit too hot, if I might say so myself, but that's good to see some price decreases. That's a sign. Looking at the median list price, single family homes in Santa Clara, it's been pretty steady, but has slightly increased. Actually, right now, it's just a shade above 1.5, and then back in 2018, it was a shade below 1.47, perhaps. Looking at price per square foot, a similar story to the other cities. Peak in 2018, a little bit of a pullback, and then some strength ever since. Looking at inventory, this is interesting. So I would say this is more similar to Sunnyvale than San Jose. So San Jose, we saw the inventory is barely picking up. Now here, it's somewhere in between, but I'd say it's getting we're seeing some good pickup here. But also remember, this is a smaller market with only 42 homes, so sometimes things can get exaggerated. But this is definitely something we'll watch. Next month we'll double check on this and see how inventory is doing, whether it's been able to sustain and build up, or whether the homes just keep getting bought. Taking a look at our market segments, $1.248 million will get you a 1,350 square foot home in Santa Clara. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. There's actually 4 added to the market and 3 taken off the market. That's interesting. That's good. Increasing inventory. That's always a good thing. 1.495 million is the second quartile, about 1,360 square feet. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and then 6 were added to the market, 3 were taken off the market. That discrepancy is probably because there's a variety of neighborhoods in Sunnyvale, so these homes are probably in a better neighborhood than these homes, even though they have the same square footage. Third quartile, so this is the 50 to 75%, 1,448 square feet, 1.646 million. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms still. 5 added to the market, 6 taken off the market. So a little bit positive absorption there. That's higher demand for some reason in that area. And then the top quartile, 1.9 million, will get you about 1,800 square feet. A slightly larger lot, that's when you can start to see 6,500 to 8,000 square foot lots, 4-3. 5 on the market, 3 taken off the market. So interesting to see a lot of low days on markets. This one's a little bit high, 21, but there's probably a lingering property that got pulled off. Taking a look at condominiums in Santa Clara, a little bit less competitive and kind of in line with what we saw in the other cities. Our median list price was $800,000, inventory of 37, and a market action of 61. So the major things that I'm seeing here, median days on market of 14. So this is going to be the zone of 2 weekend open houses, of most common to get to sale. Right off the bat, that means it's just going to be a little slower. So any of the other areas we saw that 14-day median, that's a little slower market. Average days of 28. That hasn't been actually trending down. So that means some of the lingering listings, they've either adjusted the price or they've been getting purchased. We saw a 16% price decrease and then no price increases. So that's a pretty straightforward pullback where it's just the price were a little bit too high, sales expectations were a little too high, and they brought them down to get back, to get that competition and get the bidding. Taking a look, let's take a look at the median list price. So similar to single-family homes in Santa Clara and Sunnyvale, we've seen kind of like a plateau in 2018, and then it's been going down. Let me remind, this is condominiums in Santa Clara. So yeah, so plateau in 2018, another peak in 2019, and then a little bit of a decrease. Let's see how price per square foot looks. So kind of similar, I feel like the condos in a lot of these Bay Area cities, they kind of have held steady around the same price per square foot value. Only single family homes were able to kind of break through and put on some significant gains. But also it kind of depends on when you purchased, as you can see. Let's look at inventory. So actually, interestingly enough, for condominiums and townhomes in Santa Clara, we actually have significantly higher inventory than we saw in 2018. I wonder if there are more. I know that there are some condos and townhomes, some big buildings that have been built recently. I wonder if that could be why, part of why. But that's very interesting because we don't see that in any of the other markets where inventory is almost twice. So it was 20 back then, and now we're seeing about 40 homes on the market. I mean, I guess that kind of lines up. I think this is one of the lower, the market action, this is one of the lowest numbers for the market action index that we've seen so far today. So I guess that all kind of makes sense. It should. And also, yeah, it ties in median days on market 14, not the 7 that we've seen in some other areas. But just so you know, $600,000, that's the bottom quartile, will get you about 905 square feet. That's 1-1. All areas we had positive absorption except for this third quartile. So more homes were taken off the market than put on the market. Inventory is decreasing. 720 will get you about 1,000 square feet, a 2-2. 920K will get you about 1,200 square feet. And then 1.4 million, that'll get you a fairly large condominium or townhome at about a little under 1,900. For our last area, we have Campbell. Single family homes, median list price was $2 million, 1.999. Inventory is decreased to 16, so Campbell once again is a fairly small city. And market action index of 80, so that's kind of a middle of the road for our single family homes. Interesting to see, actually this is the only area where single family homes are above 7, so it's 11 days on market. So that's actually, that probably means somewhere in between 1 and 2 weeks of open house. Overall average days on market is increasing, so that's a sign that, I mean, it's not 100, right? Market action is not 100, so average days is increasing at all. That's makes sense. Interesting, in this area, we're actually seeing price increases. So that's another effect of the pricing changing, where you'll see a price increase where the pricing was too low. There weren't enough buyers in the market, and they didn't get the bidding up that they expected. So this 13, that means they were expecting bidding. They didn't get the bidding because there's not enough buyers. And they had to increase the price to try and get what the seller wanted. Let's take a look. Median list price. Campbell did have some big swings throughout the pandemic, but now actually we're sitting at about 1.8 median, whereas it was just about 1.5 in 2018. That's a big change. Campbell has been a very positive market. 2018 price per square foot, you see the same story where we had a plateau in 2018. We hit the peak, plateaued, a little bit up and down, and then some averaged strong gains in the past few years. Looking at inventory, this is going to be the most interesting. But right now, inventory this is single family homes in Campbell, still super competitive. So unlike the last graph, which probably had the least competition, the condos in Santa Clara, single family homes in Campbell, very high competition. So we actually have less inventory than we saw in 2018. The inventory of about 20 right now, that's about as low as we've seen it in the past few years. It was 16 a few months ago for us. It's also reflected, if you look at this absorption, we've got positive absorption in all areas. And if you just look at this, there are 3 new homes listed and 9 homes taken off the market. So it's a lot of demand. Keep that in mind if you're buying a home in Campbell. It'll be a little extra competitive this week at least. Bottom quartile, 1.574 million, 1,286 square feet. That will get you an 8,000 square foot lot, or whatever home sold for that amount. It didn't have it. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. One step up, 1.7 million. That'll get you an 1,800 square foot home. That one will not have a big lot, but those are kind of trade-offs. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Next up, we have 2.249 million, 2,500 square feet. That gets you up to the 10,000 square foot lot for 3, and then the top 25% of the market at 3.449 million, 3,000 square foot, a quarter to a half of an acre. An acre is about 40-some thousand square feet, so it's about 10 to 20,000 square foot lot. It's big. Okay, last market that we're going to take a look at today is going to be Campbell Condominiums and Townhomes. The median list price was $874,000. Inventory was 17. It says it increased to 17. And the market action index was 77, which was, it's actually pretty middle of the road, pretty strong for the condominium market actually. Let's see, things I noticed, median days on market of 7. So that means still very competitive here, okay? Average days on market is going down, so demand is going up. Interesting. No price increases, so it's none of that effect where there are not enough buyers, right? You see a price increase because there's not enough buyers to bid it up, so there's enough buyers. I mean, yeah, average days going down, median's at 7, that's super competitive. Price increase 18, or sorry, price decrease of 18, yeah, it's just expectations were too high. Taking a look at median list price. So similar to some of the other areas, plateau in 2018 and up and down, but a little bit down right now, that's okay. Price per square foot, once again, a little bit high in 2018, down, and it's actually been increasing steadily across the past few years, that's good. And then for inventory, the most interesting, this one's interesting too. So just like Santa Clara, actually, we've got about twice the amount of inventory as we had seen in 2018. But unlike Santa Clara, I think Santa Clara, let me check this one again. Yeah, see, Santa Clara had 14 days on market with a market action index of 66. And it's interesting, so in Campbell, we also have that similar situation, twice as much inventory, but maybe there's more buyers in the market. We don't have any of those price increases. Let's see, what do we have in the other place? Oh, didn't have any price increases either. Interesting. So, yeah, so it's we have twice as much inventory as we saw in 2018, but it looks like there's still a lot of competition. So if you look at this absorption, they only added 5 homes to the market and we took off 8. Very interesting. Taking a look at the market quartiles, the segments, $500,000 will get you a 704 square foot condominium or townhome in Campbell. That's a 1-1. 800K will get you about 1,300 square feet, a 2-2. 1.1 million goes to 1,600 square foot, a 3-3, and 1.2 million will get you about 1,792 square feet. All right, everybody, thanks for staying tuned until the end. I hope you enjoyed the June 2021 market update. I hope that was some good information and it wasn't too boring. I have a new haircut. This is my second post-pandemic haircut, and I'm still getting used to it. Stay tuned for next month. If you have any questions about real estate, or you want to make any of those success stories your own, you're thinking about selling your home, you're thinking about buying your home, don't get scared by the competition. Have a great realtor by your side like us, Amanda and Amanda Vang team. Give us a call today. We're just a phone call away. Her information is below. All right, have a great day, everybody. Bye.